All right. Hi there, everybody. What we're doing today is we're going to be taking a ride, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about this motorcycle. This is a Honda 1300 VTX R. The R is for retro. There's another model, the 1300C, for custom. There are some minor differences. It's the same motor, same frame, same transmission, but one of the differences is the R has these right here, the semi-skirted fenders. Anyone familiar with Harleys or Indians will recognize that. The C has a shorter bobbed style fender. You have the floorboards on the R. The C comes with foot pegs, but they're both heel-to-toe shifters. And you have the typical classic laid-back cruiser style handlebars on the R. On the C, they're more drag bar style, a little straighter. On the R, you have a two-piece custom seat. Well, it's not custom, but it's wider. It's cushiony. The C comes with a narrow, shorter one-piece seat. There's a few other differences, such as the risers, and the C comes with more of a bullet-style turn signal, but this is pretty much your laid-back cruiser. The C's a little bit more of aggressive stance. And the R, the retro, comes with these 17-inch wider tires, whereas the C comes with a 19-inch wheel, and the tires are a little skinnier. And that's about it for now. So stick around. We're going to take a ride. Going to talk a little bit more about this bike, and maybe some things you knew, maybe some things you didn't know. Either way, thanks for watching. Oh, on an unrelated note, anybody know what that is? Extra points if you do. Let me show you the back just so you're not confused. All right. You know what that is. Maybe we can be friends. Talk to you later. All right. We stopped here at a Snappy's for a pit stop before we hit the road again real quick. And I just wanted to go over something. This is 2006. And it's 1,312 cc's, liquid cooled V-twin, obviously, and there's 3 valves per cylinder, and that's tied to a 5-speed transmission. All right, well, we're going to hit the road and finish this trip. Stay tuned. Thanks. All right, here we are. Ain't going to bore you along with this, but we had to make a stop for a little bit of coffee. Right now, we're up along 144 in what's known as the PA Wilds. And pretty popular motorcycle destination. In the last clip, I'm not sure if I said that this bike was 312 cc's or if I said it was 1,312. Just wanted to clear that up just in case. But it's 1,312 cubic centimeters, the displacement. This is a carbureted bike. They had a VTX 1800 at the same time, and the 1800 was fuel injected. Now, you don't have to worry. They've been putting carburetors on things for a long time, and they got that dialed in. But the 1300s are carbureted, and the 1800s are fuel injected. That's what I'm trying to say. This bike is also shaft drive, as you can see down there. The chain and belt people will tell you, hey, it makes the bike a little heavier. Yeah, it adds some weight, but I'm not pushing it, not carrying it. That's what the motor's for. This bike puts out about 70, 75 horsepower, and carries 2 riders the majority of the time. One rider about 230. The other rider weighs about 170. And this will go as fast as you can hold the road. So, all right, I'm going to have my coffee. We're going to take a break, and then hit the road again. All right, we're getting ready to get back on the road. So I'm going to fire the bike up here. I'm going to turn on the fuel. That's a 5-gallon gas tank. I run non-ethanol whenever I can. Makes the bike run a lot better. That ethanol gas is just no good for stuff, especially small motors. And there you have it. Now, this bike, I figure I average air on the side of caution. I estimate 35 miles to the gallon. That's with 2 riders. Does it get more than that? It does. It gets 37, maybe to 42, but I estimate 35 miles to the gallon. That way I play it safe, and I hit about 140 or 150 miles on my 4 gallons before I hit my reserve, which is a gallon. And that's how I run this. There is no fuel gauge. You got to do it old school. But I get at least 35 miles to the gallon with 2 riders using non-ethanol fuel. All right, here we go. All right, here we are. We stopped in the little town of Renovo. It's a little town in a valley surrounded by mountains. I'm taking a little bathroom stop here before we continue on the way. And just as a note on the VTX, VTX the 1300, it weighs about 670 pounds dry. So with fluids, full tank, over 700 pounds. And with the 2 riders, with what we weigh, that's 400 pounds of people. So that's 1,100 pounds. That 70, 75 horsepower or so hauls down the road as fast as you want to go. I usually cut it off about 85 miles an hour because by then the wind's beating me up pretty hard. And on the mountain roads, I can go up those as fast as I can hold the curves. All right, well, I'm going to see if my riding partner's out of the restroom yet, and we're going to continue on to our destination. All right, folks, here's the deal. We are at Heiner View State Park. Now, the deal with this state park is they launch hang gliders up here, hang gliders. Some of them motorized, kind of like a motorcycle with a big kite attached to it. We've seen some on the road up here, and we're going to walk out to the overlook and have a look and see if we can see anything. But since this is about the VTX, let me just say the wheelbase on this bike is a little over 65 inches. The seat height's just a hair over 27. So you can flat foot that real easy. It's not a real big deal. The front brakes, they're a single disc. No drums on this. And they're twin piston calipers, except on the rear. It's still a single disc, but it's a single piston caliper. So, all right, we're going to get out there and see if we can see some of these nut jobs jumping off the cliff. All right, well, what do you know? I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't have the best camera. I'm using a cheap cell phone, and YouTube buggers up my pixels. But there we go. Up here at Heiner State Park, there's a guy flying around in a kite. You know why he's flying around in a kite? He don't have a motorcycle. This is what he has to do. Poor guy. All right, let's go check out this. All right, this is the view from Heiner View State Park. There's the guy without a motorcycle. Poor guy. It's just like he has nothing else to live for. We have some witnesses up here in case anything happens. But if you're in PA, this sits off of not far off of Route 120. High View State Park. Uh, Stop up and see it. Nice ride. After this, we'll be chasing the sun back home. And there's no way I'd be out there on a kite. I'll stick to the motorcycles. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey, everyone. I'm going to finish the video up inside the garage here because when we got back, it was just way too dark for outside. We got back a lot later than planned. It had been a long day's ride. Just a couple more things I wanted to go over. The rear shocks on this bike, you got twin rear shocks back here. And you got about 4 inches of travel in the rear and about 5 inches in the front. But this is how I adjust these. These are adjustable for preload, settings 1 to 5, riding with 1 passenger or 2 people on the bike. I usually use the number 2 setting, and that's plenty. Now, on longer rides, hauling a lot more gear, I'll stiffen it up to about number 4. But that still allows more than enough adjustment on this bike. And I'm sorry I don't have any footage of me holding the camera while I'm going down the road, but I'm just using a cell phone, and it's kind of hard to do that when you have to work a clutch. But I do have some videos of other bikes where holding the clutch isn't a problem. They're a little different though, but if you want to check those out. Oh, and I wanted to show you this. I don't have the spanner wrench that came with this bike from the factory for adjusting the rear shocks. So what I use is I got this, it's an oil filter wrench with the rubber strap. I put that around there and it works well. Plus you can use it for oil filters if you want. Maybe your girlfriend can use it for opening up a jar of pickles if you're not around, whatever. But if you don't have the spanner wrench for the rear shocks, there's a hole here. If you don't have that tool, they're kind of expensive. You can get them on probably Amazon. But this right here, that works just as well. And I just wanted to say, everybody, hey, if you've made it this far in the video, you must really need a motorcycle or have nothing better to do. But I appreciate all the views, any likes, any subscriptions, even the views I celebrate. Because I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff. And the other thing is I want to give a shout out to my thumbnail model in a few of my videos. The same as this one here. I think they do a really good job. They're not paid, they're not compensated, but I think they do a good job. One last thing about this bike is there is a parasitic draw on the battery. I believe that's due to the digital dash. And like a lot of my bikes, I like to keep it plugged in all the time when I'm not riding it. And I have these here. I got a bunch of them. They're battery tenders from Harbor Freight. Now, I bought them when they used to be as cheap as $10. And now, last one I bought, I think, was up about 20. That's kind of a lot of money for those, but that's how it is. But I have a lot of those, and I use them on different bikes, trolling motor batteries, all kinds of stuff. My truck, I've never had a problem with one. They're not meant to charge a battery, but I found out they will charge a battery, and they'll hold it. They're not burning them out, and it's something really nice to have. So you can get one of those, or you can buy a more expensive one. That's up to you. I'm just saying. Used a lot of those for years. Not a problem. So thanks again. Hopefully I'll put out another video at some time if I can come up with something. Thank you. Bye.